Hi everyone, my name is Shannon Ronis and I am a Senior Manager with the Management Communications Center. So today we're going to really focus on the core element of any really well-functioning intelligence apparatus, whether that apparatus is just one person with 2 or 3 other jobs or if it's a whole team. Any intelligence apparatus should strive to have something called a cyber threat profile. And that's what we're looking at here. This is an example of a cyber threat profile. One of the best ways to think about it is more of a concept, right? There's a million different ways to create your cyber threat profile. This is just one example. A lot of organizations use a wiki or they integrate it into a threat intelligence platform. The main goal is to bring a lot of pieces of information together in one place to look for connections between them that can tell you about what are the relevant threats to your organization and where might you be vulnerable to them. And knowing that will help you then prioritize what reports and what intelligence to focus on first, based on, again, the most relevant threats and where you're most vulnerable to them. So some of the inputs when you're creating your cyber threat profile, you want to look at things like who are the people, processes, and technologies, right? What is the general threat landscape? That is the relevant threats to the organization. We also want to look at things like case histories. So what threat activity has been seen in the past and how successful was it? We also want to look at how well we were equipped to detect, mitigate, and respond to threats. So for example, looking at the top row of this cyber threat profile in relation to SWIFT and payment channels, you can see that this organization has a medium capability to detect threat activity related to SWIFT and payment channels and a low ability to respond to or mitigate those threats. And it isn't realistic for organizations to protect against every threat all the time, right? That goes back to this concept of information overload. But one of the things that is really helpful coming out of this threat profile exercise is that you're able to see all in one place where you need to prioritize your efforts, right? So this organization has been targeted by government-sponsored actors, essentially APT groups, in relation to SWIFT and payment channels. So I would really recommend that they revisit their existing detections, mitigations, and response capabilities when it comes to these particular processes, right? SWIFT payments, because again, they have been targeted in the past. And over here, we see this organization is likely to be targeted by financially motivated actors. Now, it's really interesting that we have on this threat profile this likely targeting, right? And that should really be the goal of any intelligence apparatus, is to really focus on threats that exist but that haven't necessarily impacted us yet, right? We want to get left a boom. We want to be proactive in protecting ourselves before we've actually been attacked, because we know that these threat actors, based on our cyber threat profile, are targeting us. And we know, based on our cyber threat profile, how effectively we'll be able to deal with that threat, right? So questions you can ask yourself when you're thinking about who those likely threat actors are things like, what tactics, techniques, or procedures, or TTPs, have we seen these cybercrime actors using that align with what I know about my organization? Are we likely to be targeted based on our industry? Have we seen these actors targeting a specific technology that we also use, and that might make us vulnerable to some sort of exploit that they've developed? Do we have any prominent figures within the organization who are posting on social media or otherwise involved now or in the past in some sort of third party or social group that might make them, and by extension us, a target for some sort of threat actor? And typically we would expect to see hacktivists and other ideologically motivated actors targeting individuals in cases like this. But the main point remains is that to effectively narrow down the full window of threats that you care about and to effectively prioritize your efforts, you have to know yourself and your adversary and look for specific areas. Again, people, process, and technology, where these things intersect.